So we have the recent events here at the Olympics that stirred some controversy with the boxing event in the 63 kilograms, I think, where we had two individuals where they were deemed to be not be female because they were fighting against women. Now, when we think about this, the IOC, the Olympic Committee, they just reported that they do not check if somebody or test if somebody is man or female, and they for them is just necessary as long as their documents or their passport states that they're female on their passports, and that will be it. However, the Algerian boxer here in question, Imane Khalif, I think, yes. So he she participated, let's say she participated in the world championships for boxing. It was in 2023, I suppose, and the IBA, the International Boxing Association, basically upon doing some testing, they decided that it was not a good idea for the fighter to compete because they were disqualified. Apparently, because they had an XY chromosome, that means that defines you if you are a male, for example, in this case, and they were not able to disclose the analysis for the testing to disclose it here in the Olympics today because they didn't want to release it. Now, my thing is, if you are sure 100% that you're a female, why would you not disclose your testing so you could put everybody at rest in peace and say, yeah, I am a female and I'm not going to beat up women in the field, in boxing, in a ring, in a combat sport where for your job, you just punch people in the face and you can create brain damage and long-term health issues if you're serious about it. And if you look at the fight against, I think it was Angela Carini. She was an Italian sister of mine because I'm Italian, so she's Italian. She lasted 46 seconds and she got beat up so much and she decided to quit after that time. And then after that, she just collapsed in tears and she reported that that's not fair. This shouldn't happen. They cannot let a man fight women. Sometime later after that, Carini just apologized and said, oh, I shouldn't have said that. And she went along with the line. Now, my fear in all of this is that there's a kind of concealment of all this from the Olympic Committee. Like they're trying to make excuses. And when I go today, so by the way, the Algerian Imane Khalif wins boxing gold medal. So, like we didn't know already, by the way. But they say he lost a fight against another fighter. I don't know if she was Ukrainian or anything, but still, it's crazy. So we have Imane Khalif and Ling Yuting. That's the other individual that was thought to be male. And when we go and look at the titles here of all the big news media, so we say we'll read Algerian Imane Khalif wins boxing gold medal after her gender was wrongly disclosed. Imane Khalif and Lin Yuting boxing eligibility row key questions. Olympic boxing champions filed the legal complaint for online harassment. Yeah, we saw that as a matter of fact after she won. She said that she received complaint over gender abuse online, and so she will file a legal complaint against those who discriminated against her. And another newspaper, the Defector, never heard of this before. It doesn't matter if the IBA was lying about Imane Khalif. The IBA is the International Boxing Association, was lying. So if there's testing and you cannot participate, how are you lying? There's something scientific there that has been disclosed in that case. And then, so what to know about Olympics gender debate as Imane Khalif wins woman. So all the titles do not say anything, really. And I found this article here on the BBC. It's not that I really trust them, but I just wanted to see and check what they're gonna say about it. But the gist of it is like everybody's saying that, oh, she's a woman, so how does it make you feel like 20, 30 years ago, a wife beater, a man that would punch his wife, how would you call them? Everybody would just put shame on that person, and everybody from the social circles would have really pointed the finger at them and shamed them and really actually file a domestic abuse charge and go to jail, because that's something that you cannot do, like a man beating a woman. Come on. But nowadays it looks like, even if my thing is, I really have suspicion there is a guy, there is a male, and I know, I think of it because I have few things, like this testing here is suspicious, like you have chromosomal differences, XY, but you still look like a woman, okay? But there are disorder, sex development, development of sex disorder. There's something that people may have both genitalia at the same time, or at different stages of their puberty, they might develop one or the other in that case. So they can bring those differences throughout their adult life. But look, it's very simple. If you're a man and if your chromosomal differences are leaning toward being male, and your hormonal profile gives you more testosterone, therefore you are stronger, because let's tell the truth, on average, a male is stronger than a female. Yes, do you have some females that are stronger than some males, but in general, males are stronger than female. This is natural fact, it's scientific. Why? Well, you have denser bones, you have larger stature, you have larger upper body, you have a different muscle profile, more density, more developed muscles because of testosterone. Your lungs, a larger lung capacity, your oxygen transportation, your circulatory system, your stronger heart, your blood can carry more oxygen, to your tissues, and therefore gives you that advantage compared to a woman. Spatial differences. There are recent studies that show that men and women have a difference in how they identify and their awareness in space. So that makes them different as well. So when we read here, they try to give, let's see. A frenzied debate has raged over the International Olympic Committee clearing the duo to compete in the women's boxing in Paris, despite them having been disqualified from the last Women's World Championships for failing to meet eligibility criteria, that is, the two boxers. Amid the heat, science is shedding increasing light on our different chromosomal makeups and what advantages they might bring to sport. But the research is ongoing, and even among the experts who spend their professional lives working on it, there are differing interpretations on what the science tells us. So you see, the article is already saying there's different interpretations, okay? So let me tell you something. There cannot be different interpretations in science, because the goal of science is to measure things, to analyze things, to analyze a phenomenon and record the results and see how the different variables play in a certain scenario. And it has to be replicable. If a certain group measures a phenomena and it has a certain result, it has to be replicable, that some other groups need to be able to do the same. So research is ongoing, and even, you see, experts who spend their professional lives working on it, there are different interpretations of what the science tells us. We do know that the process of sex determination starts when a fetus is developing. Most females get two X chromosomes, XX, while most males get an X and Y chromosome. So chromosomes influence a person's sex, but hormones are important too, before birth as well as later during puberty. While the baby is still growing in the womb, hormones help the reproductive organs develop. However, at some point through the pregnancy, some babies' reproductive organs don't develop in the way most people do. This can be caused by a condition called DSDs, differences in sex development. So I said disorders earlier by mistake. So there are a group of about 40 conditions involving genes, hormones, and reproductive organs that start in the womb. And it means that a person's sex development is different from that of most other people's. So these abnormalities are rare. So what we know about the two boxers and how their genders has been determined so far. So both fighters were said to have failed a International Boxing Association gender eligibility test last year, but there's been conflicting information whether XY chromosomes or elevated testosterone were found. So if we do not know in this case, why are they speculating that we do not know? Oh, we don't know if it's the chromosomes or if it's their hormonal profile, So while representatives of the fighters at the IOC insist the fighters were born women, raised as women, and always competed as women, critics, including some of their opponents at Paris 2024, have speculated that perhaps the fighters have DSD. Because the genetic variations are so many and so varied, some experts say it's impossible to establish that everyone with a Y chromosome is a male and everyone without a Y chromosome is a female. So just looking at the present, so they're saying that just looking at the presence of a Y chromosome does not answer the question whether somebody is male or female. So you see, it looks like in this article, people are just redefining what it means, like the science, the proof. But this guy is a researcher, in sport performance at the Manchester Metropolitan University Institute of Sport. So it's obvious a very good marker, as most people with a Y chromosome are male. So you see, he is already saying it, that you are a male if you have a Y chromosome. But he says, well, in some cases, even if you have a Y chromosome, you're not really a male. So they're trying to justify and warp this argument in order to make the whole scenario here appear like the guy has XY chromosome, there is a male, appear like, hey, yeah, he's a woman. He could do that, So you see, this is called the make male gene. It's the master switch of sex development. So what else do they say here? You see, they say that, so a test that identifies XY chromosome, once again, you see, they're keeping prolonging this thing here, does not offer a complete picture. So they're trying to say, and in the case of Imane Khelif and Lin Yuting, the IBA has not disclosed details of the way they were tested. No, they did not disclose it because they didn't want to have it disclosed. It's not the IBA that didn't disclose it. For what I heard is that the fighters did not want the results to be disclosed. And the IOC was just looking at their passport that says female. And for them, hey, we're good for us. You just can go and beat up women. So that's the thing. So let's say, will the gender controversy change things at the Olympics? So do people with differences of sex development have an unfair advantage in sport? Well, yes, they do. But the short answer is that there is not enough data. What the hell? So Brock Lesnar goes in and we say, we're not sure. He just put him put a wig on Brock Lesnar, and we say, hey, we don't know if this lady here, she's just grunting and she just wants to fight, but she's a woman. Let's just put 2 oranges there to keep her, make her more feminized, put some lipstick over and say, hey, we don't know yet. We assume, but we don't know. It's Brock Lesnar. Brockina Lesnar, let's call her Brockina Lesnar, has XY, but it's not clear. She looks like a very jacked woman. Let's let her run in through the what's the right term, in the maximum weight division, over 200 pounds, 250 pounds, and let her fight against, the women that are there. And let's see how it goes. I can assure you that Brookina Lesnar is going to run through a fucking brick wall and is going to destroy everything that is in front of her way. So the matches with Brookina Lesnar will just last 10 seconds at best. Just straight KO each one of them. There's no need to do any other thing. He just throw the towel right away so how would you call that? A superhuman specimen of a guy that we just pretend that he's a man, but because XY or even his hormonal profile, he's jacked to the tits. So just imagine. But hey, see, some people with some types of DSD might have advantages in some or all those elements ranging from 0 to 100%, depending on the type of DSD and all its precise genetic cause. You see? And he believes his opinion. So everybody here in this article is stating things about opinions. We have the belief that this or that. So you see, the IOC makes an assumption of no advantage, but there's no direct evidence. You see, opinion, no direct evidence. So where is gone that argument of trust the science nowadays? The same thing that was in COVID, because you cannot have trust the science in one place and do not trust the science in one other, because it can be opinionated. Why does this bother me? It bothers me because I have a daughter, and one day she might be competing in some sports, and it can happen nowadays. 10% of younger generations are calling themselves as trans or something else, and maybe one day that she's gonna encounter somebody running, and she will have worked her whole life to get to a certain level, to beat a certain record, or to run as fast as she can, but she will never be able to actually compete against a man. So that's why it pisses me off, and that's why I should piss somebody else off. So what's the deal? It is unfair for a woman, for a man to enter into a woman's competition and beat the shit out of that woman. Same thing happens in mixed martial arts. It happens in athletics, in some regional competitions. It happened in volleyball, where this trans female, he or she, doing a spike, hit the face of another girl on the other side of the field and really injure her. Just imagine in soccer, just imagine in rugby. Come on, anything really. You're taking the hard work of female students that've been working hard to achieve a certain result, and even to win a scholarship. And you got this guy here, he beats everybody, he gets the first place. What if there are 3 that compete, and all 3 of them get the best 3 spots, leaving the best 3 girls actually out of the competition altogether in the results? So how would that make you feel? Riley Gaines is a perfect example of this with Leah Thomas, what happened in swimming competition. So do you think of me as a bigot because I make this argument? I respect everybody. Everybody has a right to exist and be themselves. But when you're talking about minors, and when you're talking about taking the possibility of hardworking individuals and women, well, yeah, that's something that bothers me. And it's in that case that I really wanted to be honest and tell the truth. Tell the truth to anyone that is listening in this case. Either if you're listening, there will be something that can see. If more people speak up, less and less of these things would actually happen, because there will be a voice of reason, at least. And you want to be a voice of reason. Who knows? things can change, and we need to speak up to the unfairness when things are small, because it looks like issues like this can grow out of proportion. And maybe there may be a day where, like in England, like they're doing now, you cannot criticize the government, you cannot repost videos of the protests that are occurring, because you'll be deemed as a criminal, even if you're just noticing something and you're speaking out on it on social media platforms, because you cannot criticize your government. Do we really need to get to that point? I really hope not, but this is the United States of America, and this is the country I believe in, and with freedom of speech and many other freedoms that are given to us, they're natural freedoms, and truth is a natural freedom. And I really hope you can walk in truth and at least not lie. Well, this is it for today. So what happened last time when I recorded this video and I posted it, I did not realize that it was just 25 seconds long, and I actually forgot to press the record button on my audio. So it was a mess. It was a mess. But I did a reshoot today, and I hope you guys can enjoy it. Well, thank you for listening. If you like what you see, drop a like and share, and maybe subscribe. Who knows? Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you next time.